Hello everybody and welcome to the show where after the collision we sift through
the wreckage.
I'm your host Jimmy T, that is the vet Jamie Williams, and welcome to the Saturday Wreckage, even though it's not exactly Saturday, it's Sunday morning. And vet, what? I guess it's been a kind of a slow week in pro wrestling this week, but damn it, dude.
Just everybody dying and everything, that's all.
Well, yeah, I guess. But, man, what's up with this week's shows of AEW, bro? I mean, seriously. I mean, they've bothered me, bro. All these shows this week have just been sort of meh. Sting came from the rafters at 65 years old, which is crazy in itself. Apparently, TK got Martha Hart's okay for Sting to do that. I mean, that's nice of him, right? I mean, shit. Needs to get permission these days.
Yeah. I mean, what can
and
you
by
say?
the way, what can you say? And by the way, we are on channelattitude.com via Hamin Media Group. And yeah, what can you say? Other than we have to sift through quite a bit of wreckage, vet, because I don't know, man. This show just there was a couple of good things, but other than that, man, it was a bunch of wreckage.
Yeah, this was like a 10-car pileup. Bunch of them like flipped. They flew over a bridge, so we got to like go down under the bridge, go through that as well. Yeah, I don't know, man. What can you say at this point? You just again the a la carte thing, right? And
right.
I'm just looking at this and I'm just like, I'm ordering stuff and they're like, we're out of that. We're out of that. We're out of that. And the substitutions they're offering are not to my appetite. I don't, there are very few things on this show. And even the things that I would like, they're just not, the recipe feels different. I'm not enjoying it. So even the things that I have on my order, like it just doesn't taste right. Somebody spit in it, at the very least. Hopefully they didn't do worse. I'm not a happy camper. So if there's anything else to talk about at all, oh hey, how do you like Dwayne Johnson taking up a good quarter of SmackDown to say absolutely nothing, huh?
Dude, first of all, I just want to point out I missed the Smack Attack last night because I wasn't feeling well. I thought I'd nap it for a bit, and I slept freaking right through the start of the show. And thank you to everyone that actually reached out to me to see if I was okay. I'm fine. I'm cool. It happens sometimes, man. Well, it's never happened before, but that's a first for the Smack Attack. But I'm cool. I'll be back next week. But thanks for everyone, reaching out. But as far as The Rock goes, dude, was that like 35 minutes? That first segment?
At least.
Yeah.
Felt like an hour.
I mean, shit, it might as well have been. Because after that segment, it was pretty much... It flew. SmackDown pretty much flew past. But I guess the seeds are planted, right, Vet, for The Rock and Roman. Roman did say for The Rock to acknowledge him. I mean,
yeah, and then he did. Case closed.
He actually did. But, dude, how explicit was he, dude? I don't know about your feed. Apparently, a lot of people on the East Coast was getting their feed blacked out. My feed wasn't. My live feed on my cable subscription did not blank out anything. I heard all the crack slurs and the meth slurs. I mean, The Rock was going hard, dude. Do you think he went a little overboard? But the fans cheered. I mean, shit.
I mean, no, not really anything he said on that particular show. He's he's in a PG-13 territory, which the company kind of is.
Right.
Which is about where they should be, I guess, for their prime time. You can see a lot worse on primetime TV than what's on SmackDown and what The Rock is saying. But he also, earlier in the day, so like I saw that The Rock had done like a promo on Twitter.
21 minutes, as a matter of fact.
Well, thank you. Thank you for bearing the lead, Jimmy. But
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm like, I see that The Rock cut a promo and everybody's like, everybody's it's going viral because he just said from the, fuck your story, basically is what he says, I guess. So that's the thing. So I was like, oh, let me see The Rock say fuck your story, I guess. And then I look at the video and I see that 21 minutes and I'm just like, are you serious? This is 20 minutes on Twitter. Who are you, Big Ray? Like, what the fuck do you think you're doing with a 20-minute clip? That's a whole sitcom episode that he just sat there. Who wants to, and then he's going to talk for another half an hour on SmackDown? Who?
Yeah.
If he's going heel, this is working. It's working. He's getting me mad at him for a shoot. He's the best heel in wrestling. I hate The Rock.
Oh, dude, man. Yeah, I mean, he went an hour practically all up when you combine the two, and they were on the same day, mind you. I mean,
we couldn't get him to come back for like 15 years, and now we can't get him to go the fuck away and shut up.
Oh man, yeah, I know.
And he's still look, and he's still this isn't even like Dwayne Johnson as we know him is not even a person. This is all like Brian Gewirtz funneled material. Yeah. Like he has this nerd writing this corny shit for him to say. So God knows what he would come up with on his own is probably worse. But Brian Gewirtz is like, all Brian Gewirtz ever did was rip off Adam Sandler movie dialogue and stick that in people's promos. He's never done shit that meant a fucking thing in this business. And now we have to hear him talk through The Rock. So I'm not entertained, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. But also, dude, it does feel like Gerwitz shit. No shit, it really does, man. It's funny that you point that out.
And what do you mean it feels like? It is exactly that.
It is. Right, it is.
He's writing stuff and handing it to The Rock. Here you go, buddy.
How much does he pay this guy to even... I mean, he does his shit for movies too, right? I assume.
Whatever the top writer's $7 salary wage is, that's what he pays him.
Whatever that is. Well, good on him, I guess. Good luck to him. But yeah, that was way too long. And what about the match that they've set up now for WrestleMania? So we're gonna have it night one, correct? If my memory serves me correctly.
Oh my God.
So night one, this is even more of a mess, dude. I don't like what the stipulations is. So basically, if The Rock and Roman win, it's their stipulation, and if Cody and Seth win, it's their stipulation. Why do we need stipulation?
This is the dumbest. This is AEW level of bad, because he comes out and says that he is on the board. So now he said it. He said it on wrestling programming. He's put it out there. I am your boss. The Rock has said this now. He hadn't said it on television, on wrestling television before, but now he's saying it. So now he's saying this, and then he goes ahead and says, so we're going to do things the bloodline way. So do you have the power or not? Can you override Triple H or not? And why do you make the stipulation so that, okay, if you guys win a tag team match, then you get to have no bloodline at ringside. So basically what you're saying is bloodline was going to be at ringside interfering. Right. So you already admit that. But if you're on the board, why do we need to have stipulations at all? Why do we even need to have a match? If you're on the board, why don't you just say, no, I'm going to wrestle Roman Reigns and you're not? Like, why are we having matches? You see what I'm saying? Like, am I making sense? You can't say, I thought he was legitimately going to say, if you guys win, you get the match. If we win, we get our match. Like, you lose your WrestleMania match and you don't get to have it if you lose that match. But now he's saying, no, you can have your match, but we get to interfere as part of the match. Well, why don't you just make it a stipulation where this is a Roman Reigns wins match, where no matter what, if Cody pins Roman for a 1-2-3, Cody still loses. Like, what? If you can just make up the rules, why do we even need to go through any of this? You're just wasting everybody's time with it. This is the corniest bullshit ever. This sounds like something that should have been on a Dynamite, but instead it's on the SmackDown, and people are probably eating it up.
Well, it's funny what Medium 5 says in the chat. It's as if he's McMahon all over again. It kind of, I can see where he's coming from, man. I mean, is Dwayne The Rock Johnson Vincent Dwayne McMahon right now? Is that what's happening? Is he taking over the Vince role in terms of character?
Well, yeah, but then again, what does that make Triple H if The Rock is that?
Good point. It makes him look like a nobody, really.
Yeah, if The Rock is calling the shots, which Triple H said, I call the shots. Triple H came on SmackDown and said, I call the shots. Now The Rock is coming on, Rock is coming on, and saying, I do, like, I call the shots. If I was Cody and he gave me this stipulation for me and Seth for this match, I'd be like, nah, I don't accept your terms. I'll take my chances. Like, why wouldn't you?
Well, Medium 5 brings up another funny comment. He says it makes Triple H look like Michaels as commissioner. It kind of does, actually. I mean, when you think about it.
Yeah,
really.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
No, I was just going to say, really, it really does make him look like that. Because unless Triple H comes out next week and says something about this, he looks like a friggin' idiot. Like, straight up.
Yeah. I mean, you're just basically, this whole thing. And why would you guarantee, if you lose the tag match, why would you also guarantee why would you put yourself in a position to guarantee that there's no bloodline interference? Roman Reigns has never won a match without bloodline interference. Why would you ever guarantee that?
I have no idea, dude.
Man, this is rotten. This is so rotten.
Well, I'm going to ask you this then, Ben. Is there a chance now that Cody might actually not finish the story with the way this shit's playing out? Is there a big possibility?
Yeah, there's a chance. There didn't Russo say that Billy Body said that was the plan, that Cody doesn't win?
Right, but come on, man. I mean, I know Bad Body, like we like to call him over here, we used to get a few things right because he did have sources. But right now, does he still have sources, or is it past the sources, bro?
No, he's got whatever sources he's still got. But the thing about that is it's like, it's a 50-50 anyway. True. Like, they could change it back and forth. Whatever they told him, that could have been true when they told him, and then they could change it again. Or they could just be feeding people bad information just to keep everybody guessing because it's a 50-50. I'm more interested in, like, the kind of stuff like, stuff that's like further planned down the road than I am with just who's going to win a match. Anybody could guess who's going to win a match. Even you've done that, Jimmy. Right. You'd be like, I told you he was going to win. It's like, well, yeah, it was either him or the other guy. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I just, so it's definitely possible. And then, there's that whole, Survivor Series Madison Square Garden deal or whatever is something else they could do.
Don't. I didn't read too much into that. That's, Shea Jackson's thing. He thinks that's what they should do. Right. You
brought it up, though.
I did bring it up.
Okay, speaking of bringing up O'Shea Jackson.
Please, let's talk about him.
No, look. Why do I have to hear about O'Shea Jackson's opinions now?
Good point.
Is he not okay? So he gets on Twitter and gets in arguments with marks with no followers.
True.
This is a famous actor. He's famous for being his dad's son, but still, he played his dad in a movie. So now we all know who he is. Okay, and he's not too busy to get in arguments on Twitter with marks. Yet the arguments are about AEW, and yet people are criticizing Tony Khan for getting in arguments with marks on Twitter. Do you see the hypocrisy in that?
I do.
Why is Tony's professionalism in question, but this fucking guy gets on Twitter and argues with marks, and now I have to hear about him. And now I have to hear clips of him, and now I have to hear him on Chris Van Vliet or whatever. Like, no offense to O'Shea Jackson. I'm sure there are people who are interested in what he has to say, but he's not saying. O'Shea Jackson has never said a single word out of his mouth that I haven't heard many times in the past from other people. And now people are acting like he's some kind of a wise sage. Just because he says, hey, show me a video package on this Japanese wrestler. Who? Shut the fuck up. Seriously, shut the fuck up. I'm tired of, but we have to hear Tony Khan gets dragged for even responding to anybody or doing a promotion or going on a podcast or anything. Tony Khan gets dragged, but O'Shea Jackson does the exact same thing. He's not too busy to do it. I guess there's a lot of downtime in the trailer when you're waiting for your next movie scene. What movie is O'Shea Jackson in, by the way? I'm sorry, I don't know any of his projects coming up, but
well, actually, he does have a decent sort of TV show that he's directing or some shit or producing. I forgot what it's called, but it's on Apple TV. You'll know it if I said it. I'll look it up. Look, it's not a huge deal, but you're right. I mean, really, since
okay. And Zay Vicious has this. He says Cube's son doesn't own a company. Is that supposed to defend? Is that supposed to make the point that it's not okay for Tony Khan to be on Twitter? Like, is that a defense? Because if it's your company and people are coming after your company and you want to defend it, that's your business. O'Shea Jackson is just a mark. And people are giving traction to the things that he says. Why aren't people giving traction to things I say? I'm a fucking wrestling genius. Get me on Chris Van Vliet.
Facts.
Somebody blow up my comments. Somebody clip my rants and put that out there. But I don't have a famous dad, so it's not going to happen. Everybody's getting off like having a famous dad. Tony Khan has a billionaire dad. O'Shea Jackson has a famous dad. So we have to hear both these guys, but now we judge them by different standards. It's the same shit.
You're right, man. I mean, testify, bro. Keep preaching. I'm enjoying this. I mean, when you break it
we
down,
haven't even got to Collision yet.
That's a good thing. No, but in all seriousness, you're the only one that's actually said that about O'Shea Jackson. Really?
I'm the only one that's ever said anything about a lot of things. True. But nobody listens. I'm not famous enough. Yeah, I know. Come on, guys, get me famous. And that bothers
me too. You know what, man? You should be on Chris Van Vliet's show. As a matter of fact, heck, he follows me on Twitter. I've spoken to him privately before. He's a cool dude. He actually responded to my surprise. I should fucking say,
I got no problem with Chris Van Vliet, but it's like, so, and then he has, so for that matter, you know, speaking of guys that, you know, are famous or whatever, like I respect that everything that Disco Inferno has done in the wrestling business.
Oh, did you see that one, by the way?
No problem with him. But he goes on there and for like an hour and a half says the same shit he's been saying ever since he started on Keeping It 100. He didn't say one new thing or have one new opinion.
Bro, honestly, do you want me to be straight up with you? And I know, look, he's a friend of the network and all that. And shout out to Glenn Gilberti, Disco Inferno. But bro, halfway through, it felt like, and I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it, he just wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Well, that's
does that make sense?
So I'm not going to hold it. I'm not going to hold it against him for that. But what I will say is, if you're going to talk for 45 straight minutes, say something that you haven't said in the past 5 years. Exactly. Say something new. Exactly. You know, I do 3 shows a week. Okay, and every show that I do is, I'm in my mind, I'm like, okay, I don't want to repeat myself too much. I know that there's some people that don't listen to every one of the shows I do per week, but in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, have I said this before? I'm always thinking about that.
Right.
But I'm nobody. But people that have a huge listener base just go and repeat themselves for years and years. And I guess, I know there's a lot of people that are tired of it and they just listen to the show for Conan or whatever. But, you know, there's a lot of people that just parrot the things he say. Like things like O'Shea Jackson he's been on Keeping It 100 and he agrees with a lot of the stuff that they say. And so he's just saying things that Disco Inferno's already said or whatever. So, you know, but again, my point was, why do I have to hear these low tier opinions that are just parroting other people who are much smarter and more experienced. You know?
No, you're spot on, bro. You're spot on. And I'm glad you said all that, man, because you're the only one that has the nerve and balls to actually say that. I mean, I haven't heard nobody on any other podcast platform or anywhere that said it straight. And look, I like O'Shea Jackson. I've got nothing against Disco Inferno. Heck, I was a fan of his back in the day when, you know, he was Disco Inferno. But damn it, man, like, you're right. O'Shea Jackson's, you know, he's a walking, talking contradiction at this point, right? You're right. I mean, and like I said, I like him, man. I've interacted with him too. He's very approachable, man. He really is, and he's a top dude. But you're right. If you're going to point out that TK can't fucking, you know, why does he respond to Marks, but you're doing the same thing? I mean, hello. No one's called him out on that shit. Don't get me wrong. There are people that talk shit to him, but it's not anything that's actually, that makes sense like what you just said. It's just bullshit. You know what I mean?
They're just AEW fans arguing because they're mad about what he said.
Exactly. That's all it is. You're spot on.
But again, he's one of those guys. There's a million faceless people out there that aren't famous. They're not famous actors. They're just guys that are on Twitter making multiple accounts or whatever, but they go on there just to proudly say how they don't know who somebody is or never heard of somebody, or why should I care about this person? Like they go out there just to say that, which if you tell the people, if you did come up and put like a video package up on somebody that was about to debut or whatever, they'd be like, so why am I don't care. Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, whatever. Like nothing's good enough for these people. They don't have honest criticisms. They just want to say, hey, I'm on social media too. Pay attention to me. Clout, 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 clout. That's what they're doing. And when somebody like O'Shea Jackson or Tony Khan gets into it with those guys, that gives them exactly what they want. They should be no-sold. Everybody that has those comments should be no-sold, but instead they get sold. And then I see it. Like this stuff ends up in my timeline because people I do follow put this stuff up. Like it's something. And I don't appreciate it, but that's fine. Everybody has their own prerogative to do what they want. My point is, I just don't see, like, it's just very disappointing, you know, when you're struggling to do an honest show, and this is the kind of stuff that gets blown up. And then when I come on here and then people ask me about it, like if Ray says like, so Tony Khan was tweeting again, what do you think about that, vet? And I'm like, I didn't start podcasting to fucking talk about Tony Khan's tweets. That's not what I'm here to do. So that kind of stuff is very irksome to me. I don't know. Sorry to vent on all you guys, but
no, I love this. Keep venting, dude, because someone needs to vent. You know what I mean? And you're spitting facts, and I'm enjoying this. So please keep going, dude. Tell us what else is wrong with all the hypocrisy and fandom in professional wrestling, because it is. It's a whole bunch of hypocriticism, hypocrisy, just a whole bunch of shit. It really is. Heck, I can be guilty of that too. You know what I mean? You're right, and we need someone to call that shit out. And you're the person that does, especially lately. You're like the, you know, gloves off vet lately, and I love it. I love seeing this version of you because you give no fucks and you're spitting facts, and that's what matters, dude. And every time you talk like that, I learn every time, because even when I think it's just little things that you say, right? Like even when you say, you know, like what you said about O'Shea Jackson, right? Really, sometimes I don't think it's simple though. I don't sit there and think what you just said, right? But when you say it, I'm like, fuck, you're right. I mean, when you put it like that, you're 100% spot on. And it makes me realize, shit, man, like I need to look at both sides and not actually be sort of, I don't want to say biased, but like, I don't think sometimes of that, what you just said. It's as simple as that. And you're spot on, bro. And I appreciate you talking like that, as someone should be talking that way.
I guess what it comes down to is like, what got me sort of in a mood is, you know, before we start recording and I'm looking at I'm just checking you asked me, is there any news? And I was like checking and scrolling some headlines or whatever. And fucking every headline is just somebody talking about a sound bite from one of these podcasts. Like, what, let me literally say, what is this? Why Bobby Fish says WWE's undisputed era was more than he could have asked for. No disrespect to Bobby Fish, but why is that news? If you're already not listening to this podcast, then why do you care? Why are you going to click on this? This is what wrestling news is. So as we work hard here at HMG and PWC and the brand and the Pro Wrestling Reflection and all this, like all us independent, we're trying to provide quality shows to the point that when Tony Khan gets preempted for NBA, this show doesn't take a week off. I try to give you something extra, right? But instead, but because I don't have a famous dad, no one cares. It's like you could listen to somebody with a famous dad or a wrestler that has some level of success. You could hear them say the most basic, low tier, unoriginal opinion, and that'll get that because they said that in an interview on a podcast or something, and that'll get clipped and put up on Wrestling Inc. or whatever. And as we're out here working hard for original content, I know that I'm preaching to the choir because if you're listening to this, that means you are here and you're one of us and you appreciate it. But
Right.
I know that I'm preaching to the choir right now, but that's where that comes from. It stems from me looking at just how garbage this whole landscape is. Not only just if we're talking about the wrestling reporting, but just the wrestling business. This is this Collision show we're about to talk about. Like, this is what you guys did. And like, yeah, it's no wonder I walked away from all this.
Yeah, man. I mean, when you put it like that and, like I said, man, I know sometimes you get frustrated, and I mean, so do I. Don't get me wrong. I mean, shit. Sometimes I think more people should be listening to us. And yeah, look, we have grown. Don't get me wrong, we've grown. It's baby steps. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, it takes time. It is what it is. But yeah, man. Look, having someone like you is an asset, not only to Channel Attitude, the PWC, the Humming Media Group. I mean, you're truly an asset, bro, and you're the one that puts us all. I mean, shit, you're not afraid to tell us all, not just me, but Ben and everybody that's part of this family. How shit is, and you said it straight. And dude, don't ever think about taking a leave from podcasting, even though I know sometimes you think about it because it gets frustrating.
That's not the direction I'm going. But what I know that. What I am saying is, fuck, what if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around? Like people that need to be educated aren't hearing it. They're not getting the education. The people that already know, they enjoy our content. But how many more people would enjoy our content that just don't know about it because all they're worried about is what O'Shea Jackson thinks of AEW? You know what I mean? So
yeah, it's crazy, bro.
That's basically it. Our Retro Rocket Review says Tennille Dashwood's YouTube channel where she cooks food is better than wrestling news of what someone said. Exactly. So Tennille's not working for a company right now. Her, are they married or whatever? It doesn't matter.
Yeah, they're together. That's what that matters.
Yeah, her and Jack Shia LaBeouf are out there doing their thing, going all over the world, doing stuff, having a good time, and I'm happy for them that they're doing their thing and out of this shitty business. Like, good for them. Like, keep doing stuff that's not wrestling. I support you. This is a cesspool.
For sure, man. Yeah. I mean, I think Tennille Dashwood is pretty much retired now at this point. She came out and said that. And, I feel sorry for her, dude. She gets rehired by WWE and then they've done nothing meaningful with it at all.
I'd rather smell what Tennille is cooking than what the Bloodline is cooking.
That's true. I agree, man. And yeah, like I said, man, someone needs to set people straight, and you're the man for that. and you're spot
I'll
on,
do
man.
it.
And,
I will set
why doesn't-
everybody straight.
But like I said, man, I mean, someone should actually, fuck, man. Someone needs to point that out to us, Shay. Someone needs to point that out big time, man. But look, like I said, man, a lot of people do it. It is what it is. But I guess that leaves us to, unfortunately, Vent, talking about Collision. I mean, dude, the first segment kind of what the hell was that, dude? It kind of threw me off.
It set the tone.
That was the
set
tone,
the tone,
well,
Jimmy.
It set the
It set
tone,
the tone
alright.
for the whole show.
It was confusing, not confusing, but like it just seemed to happen so quick, dude. It's funny because I got a phone call right in the middle of watching that, right? The first segment. And
Power
I wasn't
the
on the
phone?
phone for long. Yeah, power the phone, except it was an actual phone call.
Ah.
I was trying to pay attention, and I'm talking to a friend, and no shit, I was on the phone with him for probably 5 minutes, and then once I got off the phone with him, it was over. That first segment was totally done.
Oh,
Did it feel like 5 minutes? Was it that short?
yeah, it's about that short, I guess.
You
Well, I'll
Mark
tell you what
Briscoe.
happened in it. So we're coming on, and we're getting an entrance from. Well, the lights go out, so you know it's probably a House of Black.
course.
We got fire, pyro, and everything. And then here comes little buddy. Oh, little buddy. Here's
Little
buddy's
buddy.
here. Yeah, little buddy. And then he just gets attacked by Mark Briscoe. So I'm like, all right, I'm with this. Mark Briscoe beating up Buddy Matthews, sure, why not? I'll take it. This is an a la carte menu item. I'll take it. So he's beating the shit out of him, and he has a reason to. They stabbed him in the fucking head, so why wouldn't he beat them up? I don't know what kept him from doing it all day when they were like hanging out in the back, but he waited till now, and the time was right, and and he said this in a tweet. He's like, if any of these House of Black bitches show up, I'm gonna kick their ass, or some such thing on Twitter or X.
X.
Like
right.
that's yeah, like anybody calls it that. But anyway, so the others do come help. Like Malachi and Brody are like, hey, you can't do that to our little buddy. So they come down, and then Mark Briscoe kicks the shit out of them, and then he gets a spike himself, and then he attempts to stab everybody with the spike, but they keep taking it away from him. But he, like Brody grabs the spike out of his hand, but then Mark just gets a chair and beats the shit out of him. So he leaves Brody and Malachi in a pile, and he's not done with Buddy. So they go they're fighting up towards the stage, and then Mark gets a hold of the pyro switch and attempts to he attempts to burn Buddy with the pyro.
God.
Which a couple of things on that. Number one, remember, it's a fireable offense to grab somebody up in the backstage area. Like you can get fired for that. Well, he has a famous dad too. Despite the fact that his dad passed away, he does have a very famous dad, so he gets away with stuff. He gets to go to New Japan.
His dad passed away?
Jungle Jack Perry, yes, his dad.
Oh,
has
yes.
passed
Sorry,
away.
I thought you meant Mark Briscoe there for a minute. Yeah. Don't worry. Yep.
Try to
was
keep
Jack
up with
Perry
it,
on this?
I don't think you're getting it, Jimmy. I said someone got fired for grabbing a guy backstage.
Sorry. Yes. Now I get it.
And now Mark Briscoe is literally trying to fire somebody.
Right. Literally.
And I don't think he's going to lose his job. He's trying to burn this man alive. This will not be a fireable offense, though. Although so a couple of things. So that right there, attempted immolation, and that's what gets security to come out and finally break this up. Like we've had, it's no big deal if you're trying to stab each other or whatever, but once fire gets involved, now security has to go break this up, right? So they all come out there, and he's just hitting the button, and fire's just going everywhere. That also exposes, though, by doing this, they expose that the House of Black is not actually magic. There's special effects techniques involved in all this with the lights and the fire.
It is?
It's actually not real magic, guys. So they killed the business again. They ruined my suspension of disbelief. They showed me you just push a button and flames go up. And now I thought Buddy was doing that with his magic powers. Just by walking out there, he made flames shoot up. So that probably means the Undertaker didn't do that either. When flames came up, it was a guy. The guy that burned him. You know, when he did that. The guy that actually burned him. You know, if you like that little story. We were talking about the Elimination Chamber off the air, too.
Right,
So that was a great Elimination Chamber moment that everybody might remember. Yeah, damn. I thought it was real magic, but nah. It's just a button.
They kicked the fourth wall, man. There goes our whole childhoods. Yeah, look, for me, this was just dumb. I mean, what do you do with the House of Black at this point now, Vet? I mean, Mark Briscoe essentially just buried them, all three of them.
As he should.
Well, right, but...
He's better and more over than all three of them.
Yeah, but whose fault is that? I mean, it's the way they've been booked, too, to be fair, dude.
Yeah, I have no sympathy. Remember, I'm a la carte, so I got a Mark Briscoe. That's all that matters to me. None of this other stuff matters.
Fair enough. That's actually true. But yeah, I just hate seeing them get buried like this. Then again, they did come out publicly and said, well, not Brody, but the other two in Buddy and Malachi, saying they weren't happy and wanted to, you know, break their contracts. I guess this is what they get for saying shit like that publicly, but don't sign long-term contracts next time, fellas. Just saying. Yep. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was that segment. I'm left confused. I mean,
okay, Jimmy, an Inferno match. That's where we're going.
Is that where we go?
You already messed around with the pyro. Now it's time for an Inferno match. I'm sure they won't be able to call it that. They won't be able to call it that. They'll have to call it something else. You know,
a flames
of hell match or whatever. Just...
Flames of hell, pal. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever it is, if that's the case, I don't care. But who's going to be in Mark Briscoe's sort of side?
Nobody cares about him, right?
Okay,
no friends.
Yes.
FTR has to have wrestling matches. They have to have great tag team matches, so they can't help him anymore.
Again,
Daniel Garcia's got a singles title shot. He can't worry about Mark Briscoe anymore.
Speaking of actually Garcia, where is Mr. Copeland? What's happened to him lately?
I don't know. I don't miss him though.
Yeah, neither do I. But whatever happened to him?
I don't know. Let's talk about what happened next instead, because this was actually from Dynamite, even though it wasn't on Dynamite. It was after Dynamite, where we get a Swerve Strickland promo. So he cuts a promo about how Hangman swerved him and good for him and whatever. That's a promo. And then we get a the next match is a 3-way match. And this is going to be Penta versus good old big bounty business Brian and versus Dante Martin.
Yeah, I hated this match, bro.
Yeah. And
can I ask?
I would have hated it if I watched it.
Well, I did, unfortunately. And you know what really bothered me though during this whole match? Yeah, we had the same old bullshit, right? You know, spot after spot. But fuck me, man. Like, when you're going to have Penta LZ or Miedo, or whatever you want to call him, struggling to take his glove off, yeah. Zero fucks he gives, clearly. Because, did you see that spot, bro, when he's trying to take off his glove? He's like, trying to pull it off. And he's like, No, but this time he was really, like, struggling to take it off. I use that term lightly.
Well, you got to keep upping the ante, right?
Jeez. Yeah. Dante Martin.
How about, just don't put the glove on. How about that? Since you know you're taking it off, huh?
You know what's sad too, dude? I was a fan of his, man, back in TNA, back in Lucha Underground. Now I couldn't care less about him anymore, bro.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you could turn this around pretty quickly, but as long as it's going to be stuff like this, you're going to need to just take him out of AEW and put him somewhere else.
He's just retro. That's true. So I guess he did have trouble.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Dante Martin won, if anybody cares. Now, this was for the last spot in something.
The Revolution ladder match, is it? For Revolution? 8-man
Good
ladder
luck.
match, whatever the fuck. Right. I can't remember what the winner
Watch
gets.
your ankles.
Yeah. I mean, watch your ankles, bud. But yeah, he does win. Cool, because he's not going to win the match at Revolution, but whatever, I guess. He gets the win.
Nope.
But let's go to the next segment, shall we?
The next thing is Hangman.
Yes.
We had Swerve earlier, so now we get Hangman's promo. Man, if you thought anybody didn't care about the rest of the stuff that's been on the show so far, you really can't care about this. But since we can be fair, let's not be total dicks today. Let's talk about Hangman for a second. I don't think either one of us like him, but let's just put that aside. They're trying to do like a sort of I guess they decided to do a double turn over the past several months with
straight up
but this, like, is it too late? Well, of course it's too late. Well, I'm trying to think of what's a good what's a good talking point for this. Is way too little too late. It's like every question I want to ask you, I already know the answers to. So it's like, what am I even doing here? What am I, O'Shea Jackson? Like, I need to come up with, I need to stop trying to think like a low tier wrestling fan.
Let's be honest, right? Look, majority of the internet fan base do hate his guts, it seems, right? In saying that, though, the AEW marktards or the neckbeards, because we got Team Neckbeards and Team Bots, who would have thought, right? They still cheer for him. They still chant cowboy shit, whatever the case. So is it too late? Is it too little too late? Sure. Can it be fixed? Maybe. But they got to start doing something right now if it's fixable. And I think him being as a heel, I like it. You know what I mean? Does that make Swerve now a babyface? I guess it does. Well,
there's no such thing as a babyface if you're looking at these guys. It's just, do you like them or not? Like, does their being like, does the malicious things they do bother you? If you see Mark Briscoe try to stab a guy with a spike, if you didn't know that that's only in retaliation for when they stabbed him with a spike, are you just going to assume that he's a heel, or are you just going to look at him and be like, well, this guy's clearly crazy, so I'm entertained by him? Like, what would be your reaction if you're not following along? And if you look at, I constantly feel like the wrestling business is anywhere from like 4 to 6 years behind my brain. So when I see Hangman Page like 6 years ago in 2018, when he's doing like little shots for New Japan and working with like a PWG or whatever the fuck ROH. He's doing. Yeah, ROH, things like that. I look at this guy and I'm like, immediately. Like I see, like with my like Neo Matrix, whatever brain, like I just look at him and instantly I've already seen his ceiling, right? So like, he's the kind of guy that at that point, people felt like he's their guy. Like, oh, nobody knows about this guy. So Hangman's up and coming. I'm going to get on this Hangman train or horse or horse following a train or whatever Old West kind of like analogy you want to bring up. You're with that guy. And then it gets to the point where when AEW becomes a thing, then you look at it and you're like, he should be the champion, and this should be the guy. This should be the AEW guy. Like, you got that fan base looking at him as that guy because he's never been anywhere else, right?
Right, exactly.
So, yeah. So you see that, but now I think even the people that felt like that back in 2018, 2019, whatever, I think even those fans, even if they like Hangman still, I think a majority of those people are now catching up to where I was. Here in 2024, they're catching up. They've seen Hangman's act. They know it's never going to change. It will never be any different. It will never get any better. He's going to wear glittery outfits, and he's going to cut the same promos where he talks about his feelings and whatever, and he's going to have the same exact match no matter what happens. Like, no matter what the situation is, you know he's just going to do his same shit every time. It'll never be any different. So they finally caught up to me now, right? I think that's what we're seeing. Swerve Strickland, somebody I saw as the MLW champion 5-6 years ago, whatever that was. And I'm like, well, this guy's got something. He needs work. He's a little bit skinny, but he's definitely got a charisma to him. People like him. I could see him doing something. And I didn't really think he did much in NXT. Hit Row never really got a chance. But, you know, even in AEW, he's kind of just been kind of the same guy. But now, all of a sudden, they're sort of realizing his potential. So now AEW, whether that's Tony, other management, whatever, and the fans are now back. They're more interested in him where I was 6 years ago. So now this is where we're at. Like the AEW fan base and the business has caught up to me 6 years ago now with these two guys. And they're like, well, they don't like Hangman anymore, so we got to turn him heel. And they do like Swerve. It was obviously supposed to be flipped, which shows that they're out of touch with their own talent. They wanted Hangman to be the babyface, and they thought Swerve doing a home invasion and threatening a baby would make him a heel. But because everybody knows wrestling is fucking fake, that's just entertaining now. No one really thought that was real, so it's funny. They like it ironically. They're like, oh my God, did you see what Swerve did? That's funny. He threw a shirt at the baby. Ha ha ha, I like him. That's how it works now. But they wanted him to be a heel. So that's what I'm saying. They're out of touch. They don't get it anymore. They don't even understand their own fans now. So there.
It's true, man. It's true. You're spot on and well said. And look, I didn't mind the promo by Hangman Adam Page. And it's funny because back in his New Japan days, he never really said shit. You know what I mean? So I don't know what people saw in him. Sure, he might have had a decent look. Right, he never said shit up until AEW. That's when he really started talking. Let's be real here. And sure, he pulled off this promo. Sure, he came across as passionate. But like you said earlier, if I was just a fan just tuning in and I didn't know who he was, you know what my reaction would have been? Like, who's this crazy dude? Like this wacko. Like, you know, he comes across as like a crybaby. That's the only thing, you know what I mean? And why is he like, so basically he's in denial essentially, right? I mean, that's what he is right now. He's in denial. They've done the swerve, right? Except the swerve, it didn't even come out like on television properly. Like for example, like Brett and Stone Cold, the way they did it, that's what you call a double turn, right? These guys, what did they really do? I mean, for a double turn, it's basically now what we're seeing as a double turn, just going by what Hangman is saying and acting. And likewise we Swerve. Other than that, they didn't do it in any artistic way or any way in the ring. It's just the fans like Swerve a lot more than they love freaking Hangman, and that's what it is. And, you know, some part of me honestly thinks that it bothers Hangman deep down in real life. I truly think he's frustrated.
It's a common problem with baby faces.
The
Anybody
baby
that would
face.
want to be a baby face, think of the ego that takes. I need you to cheer for me in a fake sport. Of course you're a dick. That's why most baby faces are dicks.
Well, they do say the heels are actually the good people, funny enough. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it is what it is. Darkside Casters joined us saying, hey there, HMG fam.
Yeah.
Hi, Jimmy and Vet. What's cracking, Darkside? What's going on? Thanks for joining us.
It just got dark in here. But
well, speaking of dark,
we're not up to that yet. We'll talk about
dark sky. Well, speaking of dark,
yeah,
is the next segment? I think it is. It's wartime, apparently.
No, you're not even close.
Oh, I thought it was.
We got to get to. Okay, now this is something for you, Jimmy. This is Mariah May. Now,
oh, I love this, bro. Just quietly.
You've been talking up Mariah May for a while. She's going to be taking on Angelica Risk. Is Risk a Latin last name? I'm not sure. I don't know any of
clearly it's not. But I was going to call myself Jimmy Risk, funny enough, and I forgot about it. Yeah, but
okay.
Damn it, you reminded me.
All right. So anyway, in this match, Mariah May does moves to Angelica and until it's time to end the match. basically. So a statement match, perhaps the professor would call it, for Mariah May. Just kicking the shit out of this woman.
Bro.
Now, Mariah
God.
May, to my eyes, the bit that I've seen of her, she's fine when she's doing something like this. If she just has to beat up an enhancement and slap her leg a bunch of times, she can look okay doing that. The minute she has to do anything coordinated or actually within there with somebody that knows what they're doing, she looks like, as Jim Cornette would say, a baby deer on ice. Just fucking everything up.
Is it the confidence? Do you think that,
No.
I feel like it's all in the mind, because I think she's got the potential, but when she sees herself below someone else, it's like she fucks up. I can't explain it any other way. Like, almost in awe of who she's in the ring with, and always constantly thinking, don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up. Do you know what I mean?
All you got to do, look, when all you got to do is do moves to the other person, and you don't have to sell, and you don't have to react, and you don't have to do anything. It's easy.
Right.
Of course.
True.
When you got to do the whole, not just half the match, but the whole match. Yeah. It takes a little bit more. Maybe she's not used to that.
For sure.
But anyway, so her statement match gets over with, and then Toni Storm comes out, and Mariah's so happy because she thinks that Toni Storm is here to congratulate her on her wonderful victory. And she goes for a hug, and Toni ducks underneath it and gets the microphone and calls out Deanna. And then we get our nice, this is, again, totally real. Wrestling is real. Now it's the Toni half of the ring is black and white. And the Deanna half is in color. And, unless they're not in a double profile shot. Because if it's a 3/4 view, then it's got to be full. It's got to be full black and white, right?
That bothered me, dude. When they were doing that shot and it was all color, and then they went back to black and white when they went with the hard camera, the hard camera shot. Like, that bothers me. If you're gonna do the black and white thing, go all the way. Don't just do it on certain camera shots. I mean, I don't know if that's a production issue or whatever the fuck, but don't do that because it looks stupid. Second of all, I like Mariah May, don't get me wrong. I actually do, but you're right. She just doesn't seem good enough when it comes to actually being in the ring with someone else that actually knows what they're doing. I don't know if that's a confidence thing. I don't know if that's just a scared thing. I have no idea, but she needs to work on that. But when she is in the ring with an enhancement talent, my God, she totally impressed me, dude, even though she seemed pretty stiff, which is not really impressive when you're being stiff. But I like her attitude. When she's confident, she really shows that confidence, and it comes out really well on television. But in saying that, Vet, please call me crazy, but I don't know if I like this Toni Storm shit anymore, bro. Straight up.
Yeah, we've already discussed this at length.
But I feel like this is getting worse, though, man.
It is. Because the only place you can go is more over the top. And it's already too over the top from the start. So I don't know.
I just want this over with now. I just want this match to come and go, because let's be real, once Money makes her debut at Big Business, that's it. It's done for the rest of the women in AEW. Big business
in Boston.
Big business, big paychecks, all the time,
Bounty
bro.
Brian.
Like, Bounty Brian. Bro, I'm telling you, once Monet, whatever you want to call her, Venado, whatever, she's going to rule that division tenfold, bro. I don't see anyone taking that AEW Women's Championship, when she does claim it, off of her for a long time. Straight up. People think, is it just me, call me crazy again, but people truly think that the AEW Women's division as a whole is very strong, even compared to WWE's. I don't agree, bro. I totally don't see it.
In terms of body count, yes.
Yeah,
quite a large
talent?
amount of women on there. So if that's all it takes to have a division is bodies, then yes, they're very strong. If you want talent, not really.
Thank you. Because I thought I was crazy, because everybody truly thinks it's stacked, bro. All the AEW marketers on X think that. That answers your question there.
What do they know? What do they know?
Right.
They're arguing with O'Shea Jackson. They don't know anything.
Well, that's true, but it truly blows my mind when they say that shit, because when I look at the roster, yeah, there's about 5 tops that are actually fucking pretty good. The rest are trash to me.
And some of them ain't on here. You know, I would love for Athena to come on here and break some of these porcelain hussies, but
Porcelain hussies, I like.
yeah, but she's over there in Ring of Honor and she's got her own storyline going. And if you're not watching that, then you're missing one of the only good things that AEW is doing with the women's division. But it's not even AEW technically; it's Ring of Honor. So I don't know. Anyway. So what happens here is Tony kisses Deanna, and then they start fighting, and then eventually Tony escapes, and then Deanna hits a pile driver on Mariah, or excuse me, the Queen's Gambit. That's what she calls that pile driver.
Cool. I'm already over Deanna Purrazzo in AEW, dude. Straight up.
You're over her,
done.
huh? Yeah. Well, because we know, like once like you said, once Monet comes in and everything goes from black and white to green, baby, money. Then we don't have to worry about this. She can whoop Tony Storm, get that belt off, and then Tony can fuck off and redefine her gimmick again and come back normal.
Right, completely normal. Which, how they gonna tell that story? I mean, what? She just she had a nervous breakdown. Oh, suddenly Tony time all the time. I don't know, bro.
She can bring back the tiny top hat and the.
Man.
Yeah, let's do it. But anyway, all right, so that's fine. Next is the Bang Bang Scissor Gang, and this time, whatever happened last week, this time was on purpose because they sort of the scissoring is an appropriate thing because they cut him off, right? Jay or whoever, the Guns, whoever, they cut Max off like, nobody wants to hear that shit. So whether they were covering for last week or whether this is an ongoing story.
No, they were covering for last week, dude, 100%. Just to make it look like, see, it wasn't a fuck up, but we saw what happened last week. Yeah, 100%, you're right. You're spot on.
Which all Max had to do, like if this was a real thing where he legitimately forgot his rap, all you had to do was say, I'm sorry, I don't know what I was thinking. The Iron Savages aren't worth a rap. Like, that's all he had to say, like, if he forgot. But instead, he just was like, whatever. It doesn't matter. That was last week. This is this week. This is the Acclaimed, and I guess it was Austin. I don't even know which of the Guns is which, but the announcer said it, so I'll take their word for it. Versus
Austin
the Dark Order. Who cares? The Dark Order is in this match, Jimmy. Who gives a shit what Gun Brother it was? This is the Dark Order. Whatever. You know who wins this match. Nice fun stuff at the end with the belt penis. Ha ha, I'm pretending the belt's my penis. Ha ha ha. Yeah, very funny, very good. This is an example of what I'm saying with the a la carte, where it's like, yes, I did order a Jay White, but this Jay White has spoiled. You left it out too long. This needs to get thrown away. We don't need this. How do you go from the top angle in the company to kickoff show on Sting's retirement pay-per-view? This is how.
Dude, that pisses me off hearing that, Vet. I hate hearing that, man, because you're right. Again, this is what they do to their people, dude. They build them up to where they're somewhat hot, and then they go right back to like pre-shows, like you said, or they disappear altogether. And Jay, what they're doing with Jay, it's criminal. The only thing I love is their theme song, dude. I remixed it at the start of the intro. I don't know. You probably noticed that, right? That was my little remix of the Bang Bang Scissor Gang theme. Or is it the Bullet Club Gold theme now? I have no idea what the hell it is, but I like it. You know, if anything, that should have been Hangman's sort of theme. It would have been cooler for him. If you get where I'm coming from, right? It's got that cowboy sort of thing to it. But instead, he gets the cheesy one, and thank God the Bang Bang Gang, not the Scissor Gang, get the cool theme. But yeah, Jay is just... I hope he talks up, dude, because he comes across as one person that if he's going to be treated like this for, a while longer, he comes across like the type that would speak up, man. And as he should, because he's a waste of talent. And whatever TK thinks in his own mind how to do this shit. I mean, does he forget, bro? Like, I don't know. Does he forget what talent he's got? Does he realize what talent he's got? And why is it every week it's like a... I don't know. What am I asking for, dude? Forget I'm even asking because...
Ask O'Shea. He knows. He knows the answer.
He would know. He would know.
Just tweet him. He'll get back to you.
Yeah. I'm just frustrated, bro. I'm sick of this type of booking. Please, for the love of God, Tony, book Jade like a frigging champion that he is. Look at his abs, bro.
He is a champion, right? What
today.
are you talking about? He's a Ring of Honor
yeah,
six-man champion. God, jeez.
Yeah, of course he is.
I mean, he don't go on Ring of Honor, but he'll be a champion there. Yeah, sure. It's I would feel worse about it if this didn't happen to literally everybody in the company.
But that's it. That's exactly right.
Like if other people were getting preferential treatment and Jay White was in the shitter, then I'd be mad. But I'm not mad because everybody's in the shitter. It's just like right now, Swerve seems like the hot thing, but whether he wins or loses the title at Revolution, he'll be in the shitter after this. There will be no more Swerve.
But
it'll just be like, hey, now Swerve will have a match on Collision and we'll get the Nana dance and then he'll beat, Jack Jameson or something in a statement match. And then,
don't say that.
Yeah. And then that's cool. Everybody got what they wanted. And yeah, but no more, so whatever. So Lexi Nair is with Statlander and Willow and Stokely. And we learned that on 0 Hour, that they're going to kick Julia Hart and Dark Sky's ass. Well, let me just tell you something, ladies. If you plan to kick those asses, you better bring a lot of shoes. You better bring several pairs of shoes. Okay? Because let me tell you something, brother. Anyway.
Shit. That was a call of the night. You better bring those shoes, motherfuckers. That was too good. Dark Sky.
We don't get to say that. We used to get to say that every week, and then she just... Again, did you guys remember that this woman wrestles with only like the 30% of the top of her ass covered? Why has she not been on Collision? Excuse me.
Maybe TK's jealous. I mean, well, you do remember.
Like that.
Oh, God, no. But funny enough, remember, people only know me when I show my ass. Remember that bullshit that was going around? Well, since then, funny enough, I've only seen her in one match. Dark Skies. So I don't know. I mean, say what you will, but I mean, shit, if you don't.
Well, she was on Dynamite, wasn't she?
I think she was. Yeah, she was. She was indeed. As Elizabeth
she
said also.
On Collision. I don't review Dynamite. Get your ass to Collision.
Literally, get your ass to the Dark Sky. Well, whatever. I guess they're having a match at Revolution.
0 Hour.
0 Hour, right.
Them and Jay White. They get to be on 0 Hour. Dark Sky and Jay White. Excuse me. Dark Sky and Jay White on 0 Hour. You get to see them for free. Free.
Sad.
It's free.
Oh, well, I mean, cool. Because I'm not paying for that shit. I mean, it's only $30.
0 Hour. You can watch
now.
it on YouTube, bro.
Yeah, I am.
You guys watching on YouTube now? You can go to their the AEW YouTube channel. And you can watch 0 Hour, and you can see Jay White and Dark Sky and that one guy. RJ City. You can see them all.
Well, Todd Brantley, the Comic King, is in the chat. Welcome to the show, Todd. He says she has all the right assets. Give the people what they want. See, you're right. The problem is they only know her for her assets. You see, and that bothers her apparently.
Now
because
the darkness.
But it's also the darkness, like you said. Darkness. But whatever, 0 Hour it is for the.
She has two little mini buns on the top of her head to go with her actual buns. Yeah. Dark.
Buns with buns. There you go. You've heard it here first, folks. Well,
okay,
anyway,
now we're at Wardlow.
Okay, can I ask you before we get into this? You know how he still has the war thing as his gimmick, right?
Yes, this is
But
war.
they changed his theme, did they not? Where it doesn't say "This is war."
Yeah, they changed it like 2 or 3 times since he's been there, maybe even 4 times.
So, so why is that his gimmick if it's not even part of his song anymore? I mean, just asking for a friend.
Oh, well, you tell your friend whose initials may be JT.
Yeah.
I don't know. The answer is I don't know. What do you want me to tell you? Like,
because the AEW, right? I'm waiting for that. Oh, I'm just wondering because that's what stood out. But anyway, please get into this because I've got a lot to say about this segment.
Well, he comes in the ring and he like now, like Wardlow is like who is this equivalent to, like a LA Knight, somebody that like talks shit about all their opponents or something. He comes in there and he tries to get clever and bury people. Which is fine. Like, I don't mind that. I really don't care if he does this or not. It's fine. He's doing a fine job with it, I guess.
Actually, this was a good promo by his standards. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
the way he delivered it was actually quite good.
But and Jim Cornette pointed this out because he did it the other week, and he also, who else was doing it? Oh yeah, Darby did it. Because they both cut promos where they're talking about real shit that's wrong with AEW, but that exposes AEW. So it's weird that they're letting them cut worked shoot promos that bury the company because they don't like people saying not nice things about AEW. I guess as long as it's company approved, they can say it. But so anyway, yeah, he's just basically talking about how he did all this stuff and then he just gets forgotten about. He also said he was like the biggest person to ever step in a wrestling ring. That's a lie, but I get his passion. But then Jericho comes out, and he basically comes out just to promote the the shit that he got thrown into, just so he could be on a Revolution to get a payday with these other 7 guys. So there's an all-star scramble, which if that doesn't just tell you what the booking is on this show, all-star scramble, 8-man all-star scramble, guys. What is this, a Denny's breakfast? What the fuck are you talking about? Since when is this a match?
That's playing Scrabble.
If you put all-star scramble next to Meat Madness, this sounds like Denny's.
It does. Scrambled eggs, pal, with some bacon, I guess. I mean,
yeah. And to what we were talking about earlier, Jimmy, what podcast do you think is going to make that joke in the world besides me? Right?
None.
No?
Even though it's obvious. I mean, it's a scramble. I mean, it sounds like Denny's, like you said. I mean, it might as well be.
You're not going to hear that joke.
It was.
So I hope
and you know what? Wrestlers will get
it
too. Wrestlers will definitely appreciate it because, they love Denny's.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, so that's what Jericho's basically out there to do. He's like, hey, I'm in this match that you got thrown into or whatever, and I'm going to do this stuff. And then Wardlow tries, like, after Wardlow just was a heel, then he tries to turn back face, right? Because he's like, he cuts this promo. And this is how you know Wardlow wants to go to WWE. Because if you notice, there are people that have a certain thing that they like, right? And one of the things that I know Triple H likes, because he's used it, and because people that have come through NXT like to use this line. But the Triple H line is, I'm going to remind you who the hell I am. Right. Triple H loves that shit. He's used it himself. He's given it to other people to use. Every time you hear that line, it's basically code for, look at me, Triple H. I'm one of your people.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%. And I'm sure.
So anytime you hear somebody says, I need to remind you who the hell I am. So Wardlow saying, I was sitting around at home depressed until I had to remind myself who the hell I am. Wink. Wink. Game. Wink.
Hey, you know what, man? As he should. I'll be fucked this company involves Wardlow. I mean, clearly. I mean, what has he done wrong? You know what I mean? Truly, with him, they've screwed him around. It's not so much what he's done wrong, it's what the company has done wrong to him. And I would be bitter, man. But you know who he comes across to me right now, Vet? Believe it or not. Take one wild guess.
I couldn't possibly venture.
Ryback. Yeah. Ryback, feed me more.
Wow. Feed me scrambles and meats.
Yeah. But in saying that, he did cut a great promo. You know, when I say great promo, the way he delivered it, I thought was actually quite good. He didn't screw it up. He was passionate. He looked like he meant what he was saying. But why is Jericho here taking all the friggin' spotlight off a guy that needs all the spotlight that he can get at this point? Because if anyone is damaged goods, it's him, dude. I mean, at this point, if WWE were to hire him, if Triple H did get his hands on him, he'll throw him straight into NXT 100%. There's no ifs or buts about it. Yeah. He'd be in NXT for a good year until, you know, at the very least.
NXT has at least like 3 Wardlows. So he can just be the new one.
You know, they won't treat him like Jade Cargill, put it that way. Even though she's done nothing, but she comes across as special still.
Right. Well, look, here, if Wardlow goes to WWE, he will be forgotten. Even more than he is in AEW.
I feel that way too.
Because in AEW, he stands out. In WWE, he does not. Period.
Right.
Sorry.
It's true.
I like Wardlow. There's nothing against Wardlow by me saying that. I'm talking about the business of it. The way they will treat him, the way they will look at him. Like, what does a Wardlow have that Obafemi doesn't have? What, being white?
Oh yeah.
We don't need we only they've got guys that they are bringing up right now under contract that are going to cost a lot less than Wardlow would, right?
I would say he's better than Dijak though. I can't stand Dijak, Todd, just quietly. I think he's better promo than Dijak.
Dijak should go to AEW because all he ever does is have garbage matches. So
yeah, he's garbage, straight up.
Yeah. No, literal garbage. Like
no, really,
garbage cans and all. Like he has hardcore no rule matches every time he's out there, and he's kidnapping people and he's torturing them and he's interrogating them, and he has his own padded cell that he keeps people in. So that sounds like AEW storylines to me. Why don't you just go to AEW? T-Bar?
They'll get him. Yeah, T-Bar. Also, you know, they've got Bron Breakker too, which you could say Wardlow is like a poor man's version of Bron. Maybe a better promo, though, than Bron, I dare say. Just, not by much. But still, you know, Bronson Steiner, which should be his name.
Oh, that Braun. I thought you meant Braun Strowman, who's still technically under contract.
What's happened to that guy? Do you think they'll release him or what?
I don't know. See. I think, well, he got hurt bad, but like...
Yeah, but I think he's better now.
Better than what?
No. But I mean, no, not better. As in like he's actually not hurt anymore.
But that's exactly my point, Jimmy. When I said Wardlow doesn't stand out, like stand Wardlow next to Braun Strowman. Why do we need both of you?
True.
So which one are we going to keep? We're going to keep the one that we've already had, the one that's bigger, the one that's you know the fans know.
That's true, man. I don't want
to. So
in
AEW, he can keep cutting these promos because they make sense. If he goes to WWE, he'll have nothing left to complain about, but he's still going to get forgotten. That's just the sad reality of it.
And speaking of forgotten, Todd Brantley wants to know. Well, apparently not Todd, but you know, he goes, "Oh, and where's Miro? Asking for a friend." Well, you know what? Miro is the smartest wrestler right now ever. Period. You know why? Not only does he work probably 4 matches a year, if that. If you look, there's an interesting stat with Miro. Even in WWE towards the end, he didn't really work much. I mean, he's working a lot less now, don't get me wrong. But he didn't really work much during the end of his WWE run, including right now in AEW. I think he works no shit, dude. Between...
Some would say he's never worked. Hey-o.
6 matches about a year, bro. But gets a good paycheck for doing nothing. Hence why I call him the smartest guy. I truly think, obviously, he must be pushing back with Tony Khan. He's got to be. There's no way, like, they just use him, you know, sporadically here and there and then just forget about him. I think he's complaining. I truly think he probably wants out of his contract because he's another one. Once his contract is up, I guarantee you he's going back to WWE 100%.
Yeah, things are different now. There's no room for him either. Maybe he's Maybe he's taking this time to be by his wife's side as she recovers from her finger surgery.
I forgot about.
Yeah.
She should have been recovered by now, right? You think?
Well, look, it's very important that we make sure she's fully recovered. Even though she is hot and flexible, we have to be a little bit flexible with Miro's scheduling so that he can support his lovely wife. Anyway, Hobbs attacked Jericho, which didn't happen nearly soon enough. I would have rather he did it immediately, but
True.
That's to further the business between the Don Callis family and Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara sometimes.
Care factor 0.
All right, Lexi is with Serena Deeb, and Serena Deeb needs challengers because her competition has not been cutting it lately. And she refers to herself not only as a professional professor of professional wrestling, but as something she doesn't normally call herself, which is, what does she call herself, Jimmy?
Well, she's calling herself the what's it called? Basically, she was doing the Sasha Monet gimmick. I don't know if you paid attention to her promo. I did pay attention. I was teeing you up, and it seems like you whiffed it. You sliced it. I did. She said,
"I'm the final boss." Who else calls themselves the final boss?
As in Sasha Banks, as in Monet.
No, not as in Sasha Banks.
Who?
She's
That's how
a
I took
boss,
it.
but she can't say that. The final boss. Chat, who's the final boss?
Herself is the final boss, right? Technically,
final boss, chat. Who in wrestling calls himself the final boss?
Who does call himself I've forgotten, dude, already. What?
All right, well, let's move on until we get the answer.
All right.
It's a deep cut, I guess, apparently. But
I know this, but yeah.
Yes, you should know this, but I'm just gonna leave it up to them.
Can I ask
Butch? No, it's not. It's not Butch Airbrush Slomo. But thank you for the laugh. I need
no, but really though.
So
I
Private
took it
Party
like she was calling out Sasha Banks, man, a little bit, like low
well, how
key.
would she know?
What do you mean?
Why would she call somebody out that's not there?
Well, she's gonna be there next week.
But why would she do that?
Well, because she's the baddest bitch like in AEW. I don't know. That's how I took it. I could be completely off. Apparently I am. But yeah. Okay. Now I want to know who calls himself the final boss. I know this, man.
I'm waiting on the chat. I'm not telling. You guys
no one's
don't
saying
even know
anything.
All right.
What the hell?
Well,
I know this.
Well, sometimes these people are a little bit delayed, like if they might pause YouTube and come back live. So they're a few minutes behind. Sometimes we gotta give them that. Private Party versus Seidel and Daniels is next. And I saw this and I was just like, man, put this shit on Ring of Honor. Like, what the fuck am I doing watching this on Collision? But then it made a little bit of sense when Jeff Jarrett ran out and his whole gang, like the whole Jarrett gang, even Karen ran out to help Private Party win this match against these fucking guys, Seidel and Daniels. Private Party needed help.
Wait a minute. Sorry.
What?
I figured it out.
Oh, you figured it out?
Is she a Japanese woman by any chance?
Oh, I don't know, Jimmy. Would you say she's a legend? Something that you've called her before?
She is a legend. I just clicked, bro. Wait, is she out of contract from WWE?
Some would say she never had a contract with WWE.
Okay,
not since NXT UK folded up.
So does this mean we're gonna get Saito Mura possibly in AEW?
You don't think that Mercedes is coming to AEW just to feud with Serena Deeb, do you?
I still took that as, I don't know, man. I didn't think of Satomura, but God damn it, man. Now you got me thinking. Sorry, it's just that now I'm puzzled. So you truly think it's that we're going with, possibly?
Let's find out.
All right, okay. I don't know.
Who else are they going to fly in for I'm sorry, did we not have Jun Akiyama come in last week?
Touche. You're right.
All right. I'm very disappointed in all of you, by the way.
Even
you,
Todd
Jimmy,
didn't get it.
You, Chad.
I clicked, man.
You should all be disappointed. Jimmy, you called this woman a legend in the past, and I argued with you about it. I said she's not a legend. No, she's just old. There's a difference between old and a legend. Jun Akiyama, you can make an argument.
Have you seen the documentary with her in it?
It doesn't matter if there's a documentary, bro.
No. She's a bully, man. She's been known as a bully in.
What does that have to do with Legend?
Well, yeah. Well,
you're arguing different points here.
Look, technically, she's you know what I mean, bro. I mean, she's been around for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And Jun Akiyama is definitely a legend. Even though we're taking the piss on him last week, we're talking in terms of today. Who's Akiyama? You know what I mean? But back in the 90s, early 90s, he was.
Well, you can't be a legend in your prime. You have to be a legend later.
Right. Exactly.
She's not a legend. She's not a worldwide legend just because she had one match in WCW back in the day. It's not how it works. She did,
but that's not the reason. In Japanese wrestling, she is.
Yeah, I don't even think so. But anyway, Eddie Kingston. We got a package for Eddie Kingston. Okay, you want to talk about Japanese legends? This guy would know. We should ask Eddie Kingston if he thinks Meiko Satomura is a legend. Now, he may overrate her and say she's a legend, but to me, I don't think so.
Wait, so you truly don't think in terms of female professional? Really?
No.
Why is that?
You want to talk about Minami Toyota? That's a legend. Bull Nakano? That's a legend. You want to talk about...
That's different level now. Like,
well, but you can't... Legend is the highest level. You can't get higher than legend. People just use that word too much. Legend is now a WWE 2K player's... Like, that just means it's an old person that doesn't work there anymore, but has a contract where they get money. That's what legend means to the average person.
God damn it. Look, she's wrestled the who's who in pro wrestling, though. You can't, you can't actually take that away from her. I don't know.
Name anybody she's wrestled.
Really? The names you just mentioned she's wrestled. I mean, shit. She was under, what's it called? What's the one at Tough? Oh, my God, man. What's her name again? I've gone blank. She's half black, half Japanese, man. She's a true legend in Japanese wrestling. You'll know who I'm talking about, dude. Aja Kong. Them two together have, they were teammates as well, weren't they, back in the day? As Crash Girls.
Aja Kong. I never heard of her.
They were called Crash Girls or whatever. Or was that someone else maybe? Anyway, doesn't matter. It's not the point. I don't want to argue
we need Eddie Kingston to moderate this, and he's not here, so we'll just have to move on. We'll move on to Thunder Rosa versus her victim of the week, Cassandra Golden.
Who?
Is she a legend? Is Cassandra Golden a legend?
I must have missed this, dude, because I must have gone for a piece. But who the fuck is Cassandra Golden?
That's an interesting question.
Okay. Oh, wow.
It's funny that you missed the girl named Golden when you went for a piss. That's funny.
True. That's a good point. Yeah. Very good point.
Well, what do you think happened here, if you had to guess?
I assume it was just a promo by Thunder Rosa?
No promo.
What was it?
It was a match. It was a match.
Oh, there was a match with Thunder Rosa? Really? How quick was it?
Quick as a piss, apparently.
Well, I totally missed it from going from piss and coming back. It must have been pretty short.
She tapped her out. She tapped out Cassandra Golden.
And how quick, like, honestly, how long did the match go for?
About as long as this package for the Bucks and Sting. Are you excited for Sting's last match, Jimmy? It's tonight.
I mean, it is. It's true. I feel bad saying this, but not really.
Okay. That is the correct answer.
Unfortunately. But you know what? Thanks to Sting, and they better kiss his backside. I like Sting, bro. I truly, I mean, I was never his biggest fan growing up, but still, nevertheless, look, Sting is definitely a bona fide legend, even though, you can make the argument. Is he top 20 of all time? I don't know, but some people will say arguably he is. Would you consider him top 20?
Top 20? I don't know. But it doesn't matter. You don't need to put a number on it. I would say Sting's a legend.
But he's a legend. An icon, actually, shall I say.
An icon.
But
the icon Sting.
Yeah, exactly, like Zane said.
Whatever that means. But well, it's funny too that we mention this, because the next thing they do on the show is they give you the whole Revolution card, and they're running it down, right? And then they talk about they show that, like, you know, it's a tornado match for the AEW Tag Team Championships, the Young Bucks versus Sting and Darby, right? And then after that, which that's the whole reason of this pay-per-view. This is what the pay-per-view is built around. This is Sting's last match. This is his final thing. And then after that, after Sting, they say, and Daniel Garcia is going to take on Christian for the
TNT.
Daniel Garcia even gets to main event this card rundown over Sting's last match. Daniel Garcia is still the main event of them reading the matches on the card. He's still the last guy to go on, just as he will be on this episode of Collision. Daniel Garcia is still tops above everybody else in the company.
Dude,
how does that make you feel, Jimmy, that they're telling you the whole pay-per-view card? They get to the end where you think, and it's Sting's last match. And then after that, and Daniel Garcia versus Christian. How does that make you feel
it's embarrassing?
Happened?
It's actually embarrassing, dude, because for real, if Sting and Darby and who they're wrestling again? Oh, the Bucks. If that's not closing the show, I'm kind of annoyed because, first of all, again, you can say what you want about AEW not selling tickets. This pay-per-view event alone will sold on Sting's fucking back, bro. Straight up. That's why it's sold out, because everybody's coming just for Sting's last match. That by right alone, the fact that he and his name literally sold out that pay-per-view should be closing the show. If it's not, and the fact that they're advertising like it's not, is a disgrace to not only Tony Khan, but just the whole of AEW. No shit, bro. Like, that is sad if they don't do it that way. Do you think there's a possibility of that happening, or probably not? And I assume the latter.
Of what? I'm sorry.
Of Sting closing closing the pay-per-view.
Yeah, he's gonna close it.
You think so?
Yes.
You're not sure, man. I hope
this
you're
is
right.
I'd said yes. Now this is the Greensboro Coliseum, right?
Yes, in North Carolina, correct.
And they did sell out, right?
It's sold out weeks in advance, bro. As a matter of fact.
So how many tickets is that?
Under 20,000. I think it's about 14K.
Well, it's interesting because it says here that there's 22,000 seats.
What?
And it says that the capacity
hold on,
is 35,000.
What? The Coliseum? No way. Greensboro
Coliseum. Unless there's another one.
That up. I gotta look this up. They said it was a seller. You've heard that, right? I mean, I'm sure, man.
Well, of course, what are they going to say? 1921 Westgate City Boulevard, Greensboro, North Carolina. If it's that one.
All right, let me see. I gotta double.
There could be other ones, I guess.
Nah, it's the one and only, the original, bro. It's got to be. It doesn't even tell me, actually, for some reason. It's not. Man, this could be sneaky, hanky-panky shit, bro.
Now it says the capacity is 35K, and then it says the seating is 22K.
I'm reading the same thing. Yeah, you're right. It's bizarre, dude. There, 35,000 plus. Is it really that big? Holy shit!
I mean, yeah. This holds this is the home of the what team is this?
In just sports in general? Nobody. Oh, sorry. Carolina Cowboys.
Who the hell's that?
I have no idea. PBR. What's PBR?
The Greensboro Swarm.
Oh, bull riders. It's bull riding. Don't forget the Cobras, bro. The Carolina Cobras.
It's basketball. It's like the G League for the Hornets.
Oh,
Greensboro Swarm. This is their home stadium.
It's also the Spartans' home stadium in the NCAA. So, yeah, not many like major teams other than probably the Spartans.
My point is, this is not like Wembley Stadium. This is not like what is it, Optimus Prime Stadium in Perth or whatever it's called.
Wait, Optus.
Optus. Okay,
Optus Stadium. It's a
Right.
it's a telephone company.
Roll out to Perth. So
Right.
it's not that. This
It's
is
not.
this is an arena. It's 22,000 seats. It's Sting's last match ever. They can't sell it out.
Hold on a minute, man. Now they're fucking with me. Liz says there's still tickets still on sale, I assume she means. And you're telling me that so they've been lying this whole fucking time, bro. Like they've been I know it's wrestling, don't get me wrong. They always talk shit.
They would never lie, Jimmy. Just ask Will Ospreay's tattoo.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I hope
That's
Sting
on
didn't get a
him.
tattoo of this.
So
I
no
hope
shit,
Darby didn't
dude.
get a tattoo of this.
Look, they must have been honestly, they must have set up for 14 and not open up any more tickets. But then apparently, according to Liz, there's still tickets on sale. I don't even know anymore, Vet. I don't know what to tell you anymore. I was assuming.
Hey,
I've heard
maybe
even other. Sorry, continue.
maybe they're going to get an 8K walk up.
That's a lot for a walk up.
You think there's going to be 8,000 people in line waiting to buy a ticket outside for Sting's
somehow
last
doubt
match? It's his last match.
As sad as it is, there should be, right? But in 2024, this should have been done 15 years ago, bro. Then I would say maybe.
It's well, look what Liz said. Sold out with 15,389 tickets out, but the upper decks are all open. And 25 bucks, 25 bucks tickets today.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
that's the thing though. Like Zane says, they sold out at 16,000 and then got more seats. If there's more seats, you didn't sell out, period. I'm sorry. I'm tired of wrestling trying to fake this shit. Just say what you did. If you can't sell it out, you can't sell it out. Don't tell me we set it up for 16 and now we're opening up more seats. If you set it up for 16, you can't open up more seats. There's how many seats there are in the building and how many people are in the building. That's it.
I took their word for it this time, dude. I didn't know it was that big, though, the Coliseum. I didn't realize it was such a big
I don't know
arena,
what the
dude.
35,000 means. Like, I don't know what that means. Because, what is that, just how many people can stand in there?
I have no idea.
Like if they had the basketball floor and everybody just crams onto the floor, you can get
I assume it's that.
get 13,000 more people to stand on the basketball court.
Well, when you think about it, I assume the set is going to take up a lot of seating, right? So I guess it's got to do with that without a set being present and whatnot. But
And
essentially,
here's
that's
another
half
question.
the arena sold, really.
Yeah. Here's another question, Jimmy, and to everybody, really. If you go on there, like, okay, let's say you could fit 22,000 people in there. You know that
Right.
going in, right? Obviously, you're afraid that you're not going to do that. But if you tell people like they told you it was sold out for how many weeks now?
Weeks, bro.
So
Good 4 weeks.
how
at
many
least.
people do you think hear that and say, "Oh, well, sold out. I probably won't get a ticket." So they told me it was
Yeah.
sold out, so I'm not going to get a ticket. Maybe they
You're
would have
right.
went if they knew they could. But if you say on television there's still seats left available, that makes Sting look like chump change because he can't draw 22,000 people for his last match. So it's you see what I'm saying? Like you have to tell people it's sold out to make it sound good, but then if you tell them there's still tickets, people are like, you sound small time to everybody else that's not going to go. Look, I'm in California. I'm not going to go to Sting's last match on the other side of the country. But there's plenty of people in North Carolina that might have made the trip, but maybe they decided, well, it's sold out, so I'm not even going to check. I trust the AEW ticket office or whatever. Like, I just don't know.
Man, that's sad, dude, because I don't know why I believed it, right? But that makes me want to tweet out Tony and be like, dude, what are you lying for? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know he always lies, but I don't know why I took that as gospel for some reason, when usually they always talk shit. But just because I didn't expect the Greensboro Coliseum to be as big as it was, that kind of surprised me. Considering the age of that place too, it's been around forever. The truly legendary, arena in terms of professional wrestling. Heck, there's my Sting autographs, vet, from back in 2000.
Whoa.
I got 2 of them. Yeah, I met him actually on the street, funny enough, before a Nitro. The story about that, what's funny is I got him for a friend who's a huge Sting mark. I mean, huge, bro. And the fact, I was saying to Sting at the time, I go, dude, if my friend knew that I was talking to you right now, he would be so pissed, you know what I mean? So I go, do you mind if you sign another piece of paper or whatever? He goes, yeah, no worries, sure. He does that, and I didn't even end up giving it to my friend. For some reason, he didn't take it at the time.
Is this the same friend that Todd Brantley had and that you had earlier? Like, is that same friend named Jimmy T?
Yeah. Oh, actually, his name's Jimmy, funny enough.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's true.
Imagine if you had told him that. Actually, his name's Jimmy as well. Like
Jimmy P,
like,
bro.
Sure,
Jimmy
kid.
P. Yeah, no shit. Sting, top guy, man. I felt bad, though, because a whole swarm started forming once I started talking to him. It's like everyone was scared to approach him. I did, and I was only 17 at the time when I approached him, and I didn't mark out. I was like excited, don't get me wrong, but it was cool to meet him. But that was the Sting. Even then, he was way past his prime. Let's be honest. I mean,
even by the year 2000, Sting, or was this
tomato Sting? Now this is back to like what's the pasta sauce? The white pasta sauce. What's it called?
Alfredo.
Yeah, this was Alfredo Sting, right after his tomato Sting.
Yeah.
So okay. Think of Metallica Sting.
Ah, got it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, so that's a little bit sad. If you can't get a legit sellout, if you can't get 22,000 people in North Carolina to go see Sting's last match, then fuck all of you. And fuck you for lying to the people and saying it was sold out in case those people did want to go and then just assumed it was hopeless.
They shot themselves in the like literally, like they're dumb, dude. They're idiots. Like, I can't say any other thing than just dopey, bro. They're just dopey. Straight up.
All right. Well, so speaking of sad, main event. So this was a dilemma, Jimmy, because on the one hand, Daniel Garcia's in the main event. And you know what that means? That means that legally I get to disavow this main event and pretend it never happened, right? On the other hand, sadly, it's bittersweet because Hook is in the main event. So now I have to watch it, even though I have the right not to. So it's really up to me. And I decided, because I'm so starving after all the stuff I didn't get to eat on this show, I have to take the Hook. I have to. So I'm going to stomach Daniel Garcia in one main event.
But be honest,
even though he was the main event of the card rundown for Revolution, but now he's the main event here on Collision.
But this Hook didn't taste so good, did it? Really?
Yeah, it's like I said with Jay White, So it's Hook, Garcia, Orange, and Trent versus Roderick Strong, the Cage Brothers, and Kill Switch the Dinosaur.
What?
Yeah. What? They're not brothers?
Kill Switch. You're right.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, him. Well, I mean, what else? This sucked. Do you have anything you want to talk about in this match?
Honestly, I don't.
Did you have to take a piss again, or?
No, I was watching this, but
okay. So
why do I care?
It fall apart?
Dude, you know what's funny? It's frozen on my screen right now on my television, right? Because that's where it ended. Why should I care about Garcia? What's his name? The other idiot from Best Friends in Trent, and a guy that called himself Orange with our boy Hook, bro.
Orange is the international champion, so you should probably care about him a little bit.
Well, I don't, and like you said, there's a cage, there's a strong, and there's a dinosaur with another cage.
You need a strong cage. Yeah, you need 2 strong cages to hold a dinosaur, Jimmy.
Jesus Christ. That's a great
War games.
Jesus Christ. Please, book that shit now, Tony. You need a strong cage.
This was a War Games main event without the cages. Like, they were all over the place. And speaking of frozen on the screen, what are you seeing on that frozen screen? Like, what's the image?
It's the Collision episode, right, that I was just watching before we went on the air. And it's just showing the main event, which already had me psyched.
Yeah, what do you see? Like, just that picture?
Literally, yeah, it's like the main event, 8-man tag, and it says episode 8 of 24, season 8, episode 24, 2024. Confusing as it is. That's all it shows. And it shows all these idiots, except for Hook. He's not the idiot. Everyone else, and Christian, but I feel bad for Christian also in this match.
All right. Well, throughout this episode, I've done some general complaining, right? I've complained about the Rock's promos. I complained about people giving O'Shea Jackson, airtime. I've complained about much of the booking and just stuff that I personally don't like, but maybe it's just not my cup of tea, but maybe it's other people's cup of tea. I've complained about people being called legends who aren't legends. I've done a lot of complaining from top to bottom of the show. But now let me actually give a little bit of science to the complaints so that you can see that I'm not just some guy talking shit, right? So there's a spot in this match where, like, it's in the middle of the match. They've already done an entire set of heat on Daniel Garcia. And Garcia makes the hot tag to Trent. So Trent comes in and cleans house until he gets cut off. Okay. Yeah. So now Trent is selling, right? Now Christian's in the ring. Okay. Now he's got a match with Daniel Garcia, possibly the main event of Revolution. We don't know.
No.
But I don't know. We'll see how the ticket sales do. So Christian's got the thing with Garcia, and Garcia's standing on the apron now. Now he's on the apron waiting. Christian's got the heat on Trent. He's kicking the shit out of Trent, who's already had the shit kicked out of him by the other guys. He goes over to Daniel Garcia and taunts Daniel Garcia. Like, I don't know. He's saying something. We can't hear what he's saying, but he's basically taunting him and like daring him to come in the ring. So Daniel Garcia totally doesn't come in the ring. But what he's supposed to do is go in the ring, and then the referee says, hey, and then Christian drags him back over to the corner. They beat up Trent some more or whatever, and everybody's like, boo, because whatever. Daniel Garcia doesn't even know that. And Christian could have told him. He could have said, come in. He said, come in. Because that's what you do. You call spots in the ring. And so, like, he goes over there and be like, hey, motherfucker, your dad's dead or whatever. And then he'll be like, come get me. Right?
Right.
And then so Daniel Garcia will hear that, step in the ropes. The referee's like, hey, get out. And he's like, no, he just said my dad was dead. And he told me come get him. And he's like, so he's like, no, put him out. And then while you're putting Daniel Garcia out, and Daniel Garcia tries to get in as long as it takes for somebody to come in the ring. Roderick Strong was like right there on the apron. He could have jumped in the ring, started kicking and stomping Trent on the ground while Daniel Garcia is over there with the referee. Nobody did anything. Everybody just stood there. Trent just sold. He just sold on the ground. Christian just stood there. Daniel Garcia just stood there. The other 9 guys just stood there. Everybody's just standing there. Magic Menard is on the commentary desk. He just sat there. Everybody's just fucking doing nothing. There's a bunch of fucking nothing. These guys are on TV. These guys are on fucking television. Speaking of that, Brian Cage goes to clothesline Orange Cassidy because eventually Trent does get the hot tag to Orange Cassidy, and Orange Cassidy comes in as a house of, I don't know, like turned up furnace. Not even like fire. It's just like the electric AC. It's
lukewarm.
Whatever.
It's lukewarm.
Yeah, he's a warm cup of piss. Orange Cassidy comes in and cleans house, and then Brian Cage is over there selling, and then he goes to clothesline Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy looks at him and forgets that he's supposed to knock one of the guys off the apron. So he goes and does that. And Brian Cage pulls up from his clothesline and then just politely waits for Orange Cassidy to turn back around to get clotheslined by him. To duck his clothesline, actually. You guys are on fucking television. This is the most business exposing shit I've seen in a long time. And I watch Collision every week. Roderick Strong. He gets Orange Cassidy. He hits the end of Heartache on Orange Cassidy on the fucking floor. Could you be any dumber than you're doing a move where you throw a guy up in the air, then you take a bump to your back. So then, bam, you take the splat concrete bump, and then Orange Cassidy falls on top of your knees after you just took a flat back on the concrete. Then you let Orange Cassidy fall on your knees. I don't see the potential for anybody to get hurt there. As you got a match on pay-per-view today as we record this. Maybe it's already happened as you listen to this.
Oh, wow.
You guys are on fucking television.
Dude, do you think it's a combination of like you brought up with Christian, right? How I guess he was trying to signal what for Garcia what to do, and Garcia just didn't understand. Do you think it's just a whole bunch of frustration and just be like, well, if these idiots aren't going to fucking understand what the fuck's going on, why should I try?
No, because Christian's the shits too.
Really?
Christian's the most overrated wrestler I've ever seen. He remember, Christian's the guy who said, and the reason I say most overrated sounds like hyperbole, but I always hear people say how good Christian is. I've heard it for years. I've heard Arn Anderson say, I could watch Christian work all day. Like,
dude,
I've heard people put this guy fucking over. This is the same guy who, when Edge had him in a concerto, he's supposed to be knocked out on the chair, and he's like pulling up his trunks right in full view of the camera. Like, dude, your trunks aren't even down. You don't even wear trunks. You wear pants. Like, what are you worried about? Like, this guy's a dumbass. Fuck him. Fuck Daniel Garcia. He's a main eventer. He has to be told to come in the ring. The main event, Daniel Garcia, fuck him. Fuck Christian. Fuck everybody in this match except for poor Hook. And not just because I like him, because he's the only one I didn't see do something stupid that somebody else wouldn't have told him to do. Like, it wouldn't have been him if he did something stupid in this match, which he probably did. I'm sure someone told him to do it.
Look, he's got excuses, dude. He's the least experienced in this whole match, right? He's still got so much more to learn. I just feel like this company and these guys, it's not the right place to learn your craft, dude. There was rumors that Taz wants him to go to, WWE. I don't know how true that is. Probably a load of shit. But it wouldn't surprise me if there was some sort of truth, because truly, I'm going to say this, Vet. You and I both loved him from day dot, right? I feel like he's regressed a little bit, bro.
I think he's listening to somebody he shouldn't be listening to. I have no idea who it might be. I don't know. But whoever's producing him in his matches, whoever's giving him advice or whatever, if Hook is hearing this, cut that guy off. Don't listen to whoever that is anymore. Who the fuck tells a suplex machine's kid, who is a suplex machine himself, to do clotheslines for a comeback? The fuck is wrong with you people?
Suplex, man, all the way, not clothesline.
Suplex.
Right. True, man. You're right. Whatever it is.
All right.
Yeah.
The only person that did anything right in this match was Nigel McGuinness, because it sounded like he was trying to pop me. Other than that, nobody did anything right in this. He was saying things like when they were beating up Christian, right? He's like, that man is a father, which is hilarious. And then like he said something to Magic Daddy about like slapping the frog legs out of his mouth. So that was funny, but that was it. That was the best part of this main event, was Nigel McGuinness with these two jokes on commentary.
Oh, dude, we forgot to bring up, speaking of Nigel, did you see when he passed out over Mariah May and Tony Schiavone said to him, turns around and goes, you look like an absolute idiot right now, Nigel, but he sounds serious, like he meant it, you know what I mean? Why the hell did he do that? It made me laugh, but
that was probably during the part where they were supposed to be on commercial break and doing picture-in-picture.
It could have been. Because
they always goof off during those times, you could tell. Dude, like,
so you didn't see it? He literally collapsed onto the floor.
I didn't see it. No.
Oh my God, bro. It might have been during the commercial. I didn't notice, but dude, he falls off his chair sideways and he's on the floor, like almost convulsing over Mariah May. And Tony just telling him, "Get the fuck up, idiot! You look like a fool. Stop doing that, right?" And he's like, "Oh, shame on you, Tony." He's doing that, but dude, it looked ridiculous. I don't blame him doing that because his company's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, Tony's got to not play along. That's his role. So
he got upset, dude. I swear it sounded.
I don't even know why. Look,
upset.
I don't mind Tony Schiavone. I have no idea why he's out there. It's redundant with Kevin Kelly there.
Yeah, you're right. But apparently
you don't need a Kevin Kelly and a Tony Schiavone. They're the exact same guy. They're fat guys with glasses. That's it. Well, you don't need two of them.
Fat guy with glasses. It's true. But according to Tony himself, actually, I'm talking about Schiavone on his show, What Happened When. That's what it's called, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, he did say that apparently TK feels that Kevin Kelly doesn't understand how to take the play-by-play role. Hence why he put Tony as the play-by-play guy on Collision.
Ouch.
Yeah.
So he just buried Kevin Kelly on his show and outed his business on. So that must mean that there's heat between those guys, because why would you professionally do that to somebody you have to work with? Look, Kevin Kelly's not great, but like, I don't care which one of them you pick. Either Kevin or Tony. But Kevin, even if he's not as good at knowing stuff or whatever Tony said, he doesn't need his hand held out there.
Right.
If you don't think he's good enough, then let him learn it and then put him back out there and put Tony out there until he's ready to do it. This is Kevin Kelly here. It's not like some guy that just fucking showed up. You let Excalibur go out there and embarrass himself every week on television. You're going to tell me Kevin Kelly can't handle the job? Kevin Kelly's been doing this the whole time Tony Schiavone's been retired. Who gives a fuck about what? You know what? I'm getting hot. Eventually.
And longer. What do you mean?
And eventually Dino Douche pins the guy who was there to get pinned. Like, Trent was there only to get pinned. He has no business with anybody. He's not going to be on the pay-per-view. He's only there to be pinned in this match, so he was. And then after the match, they continue to kick the shit out of the baby faces because you can't just have a match end. It's got to be a post-match. And then Matt Menard comes in and gets chokeslammed on the chair by the dinosaur.
Yep.
And then as we go off the air with everybody fighting, Tony Schiavone is not concerned that there's a giant arena-filling brawl. He's just saying, it's Sting's last match tomorrow, so come watch the... He should have told him there's still tickets available.
I can't believe that, dude.
What a fucking mess this whole thing was. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed that I was ever involved in wrestling watching this show with these people who are so-called professionals. That you call this a main event? It's bad enough you had Dan Garcia in it a fucking again, but then everything else that happened in this fucking mess, I would have been embarrassed if this was at a spot show back in the 80s where nobody had cell phone cameras, so nobody could ever found out about it, and just the 500 people in the guard armory got to see this fucking clusterfuck of a main event. This was on national cable television.
International, bro. What do you mean?
International television. The world can see this.
Yep.
They won't because it's Collision. But the fact that it's even available for people to see, everyone should be fucking embarrassed.
Dude, and it was a go-home show, mind you. What was so go-home about this show, really?
If I saw this show and I had ordered the pay-per-view, I'd be like trying to cancel it. All right, can I cancel? The show hasn't aired yet. Can I cancel? Can I get my money back, please? I'm sorry, it was a mistake. My kid punched in something on my phone. I didn't mean it. I just need to cancel this. Yeah. I'll be like, I'll hear about it. I'll let O'Shea Jackson tell me what he thought of Sting's last match on Twitter. That's what I'll do. I don't need to sit and spend 6 hours watching it. I'll just,
Damn, dude, sad, bro. Because how do you justify it? See, for me, it's $30. That's actually quite cheap, probably compared to you guys, which you would have to pay $60 on pay-per-view. Correct, I assume.
Maybe, I don't know. With these prices, it might be 30. Who knows?
It should be. It absolutely, because it's gone down for us, bro. It was $50 the last time I noticed.
They're lowering the ticket prices so you can't because you can't sell out the Sting's last match, so they might be lowering pay-per-view prices too just to get some buys.
Damn.
What are they going to brag about if they don't sell out and they don't get buys? What is there for them to inflate?
I can't believe I'm still shocked at that, dude. I really am, because they made a whole. You're the only one that's called that out, dude. Again, you really are. I've listened to a whole bunch of podcasts this week, over the last week, and no shit, everyone took it as a sellout. You know what I mean? And clearly, it's not. And Liz said it herself.
O'Shea didn't call it out.
He didn't, dude. And
damn, what? He's a real wrestling fan, though.
Apparently, he is. I mean, come on, he really is. He's a hypocrite now that you've pointed it out, but. No.
Well, it's not really? That. No. Wait. Hold on. Don't misrepresent me. I didn't say O'Shea was a hypocrite.
I'm saying that, not you. I said that.
No, look, O'Shea Jackson is fine. I'm not talking about him. I'm saying the fans that dragged Tony Khan for arguing with Marks on Twitter,
too. Right?
Are propping him up like, man, O'Shea Jackson.
Right.
It's just that's what it is. O'Shea Jackson's fine. He's doing everything he wants. I'm using him because as a vent, like, because I'm upset.
Right, I get you.
I'm upset at the people that care about what he thinks. O'Shea Jackson is fine with me. Me and him are good. We have no problems. But I'm talking about the fans that either care what he has to say or don't bury him for arguing with guys that have no followers on Twitter when they say that Tony Khan does the same thing, and bury him for that. I'm talking about the fans.
Since when has he come out of the woodwork too, man? I mean, it feels like the last year he's come out and a proud pro wrestling fan. You know what I mean? Where was he like previously, bro? I mean, and everyone's like promoting him.
Yeah, he's been around. Like, I've been hearing that he likes wrestling, and I've seen him at wrestling shows and talking to him and stuff like that. But all of a sudden, people are like promoting things that he says, and that's happened more recently in terms of like, because he started arguing with fans on Twitter more.
He talks to everyone practically, dude. Like, honestly, from what I know,
he should be too busy for that.
Clearly he's not.
Go make a movie or a TV show, or have your dad teach you how to rap, or what? Do something.
Actually, he's a good. Well, I won't say good. I'll say decent. But he doesn't want to be in his daddy's shadow. And I'm a big fan of Ice Cube from back in the day. Not so much now, but I mean, shit, dude. I mean, he's a fellow Californian like you, bro. Come on, he's the home.
Like I said, me and O'Shea are good. It's the fans.
Well, yeah, it is definitely the fans. But before
AEW, they're not good with me either. After this fucking show that they put on, everyone needs to go and sit in the corner. It's not even the worst Collision.
Probably not.
But it offended me greatly. You all need to sit and think hard about what you did before you go out there tonight. And every one of you guys that has a match tonight, you need to think about what you're about to do. You need to understand why you're there and who, like, whatever the house is, who you have to thank for the house. Don't you, Blackpool Combat Club and FTR, go out there and try to upstage somebody with your tag team wrestling when you got a legend retiring in the main event in a tag team match.
Right. Thank you. Spot on, dude. Facts.
Even though it's a tornado match because it's the Young Bucks and they're just going to do a bunch of garbage and have ladders and tables and everything. It's going to be a TLC match, basically. But
that's to hide Sting's sort of, that's obviously all, the shadows,
I get it.
Right.
I get it.
It's all to hide Sting's fucking, he can't wrestle like he used to, clearly. You know what I mean? So I'm not finding the word, but you know what I mean, right? It's to hide his weaknesses. They're going to emphasize.
Everybody go out there and do the right thing for business, do the right thing for the show, do the right thing for yourselves. Don't just go out there and do everything you could think of, because then by the time you get to that last match, they'll have already seen every fucking thing.
Unfortunately, though, Vic, that's not going to happen. They're going to try to fucking out, which is so sad. Now that you put it that way, the right thing to do is not to upstage Sting's match, final match, that is. But you're right. They're going to fucking do that. And I bet you, do you think there's a good chance that FTR and the Combat Pulley Club, whatever you want to call them, actually open up the pay-per-view? I've got a feeling they will. I don't know why.
It'd be nice if you have 2 high-profile tag team matches on the show, keep them as far apart as possible.
The right thing, right, would be to do that, but we'll see. Well, before we do
don't do nothing stupid in that, because it's Jon Moxley,
right.
So they're going to be outside the ring. They're going to be doing stuff, but it's like, again, the Young Bucks and shit is going to turn that into a TLC match in the main event. So don't take anything away from that. Let them do their TLC match. You guys have a wrestling match. For once in your life, Jon Moxley, try having a match. Please.
Try, right. Keyword,
please, try.
Before we go, Vet, do you want to do a predictions for Revolution or fuck it?
No. Absolutely not.
I thought so. I thought I'd put it out there just in case. But, Vet, in saying that, I think that means we can take it home, bro, because we sifted through a hell lot of a wreckage. So in saying that, tell them where they can find you, bro.
Well, don't worry about where you can find me. Just look for O'Shea Jackson. Look for his opinions. Be sure to retweet those and even argue with him about them. And that's going to do way more for your career than anything that I could do. But if you did want to follow the lowly, pathetic me, at Opinion Haver on all your favorite social media platforms. You can catch me on the Next Level Wrestling Review every Wednesday, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern with Big Ray Hernandez. Break down NXT. Makes me sad for a different reason. You want to talk about Impact, TNA? You want to talk about that stuff? Well, that makes me sad too. And that happens. I get sad every Monday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. With Brandon, we get sad together and talk about Impact, and we spend most of the show shaking our heads. And if you feel like you like head shaking, then come check us out live and shake your head along in the chat. Let's see, what else do I do? That should be good enough. With those things, with Hami Media Group and Opinion Haver, with those 2 things, you could find me any way you want to find me, pretty much. So that's that. And then, of course, you have Wrestling with Rip Rogers every Friday. I promoted that they were going to have Matt Riddle on. He no-showed. Big surprise. Matt Riddle not... he's not... He's not accountable. He's not trustworthy. Big shock. Not reliable. Who could have ever guessed? But he didn't make it.
What a cunt, bro. Really, he no-showed it.
No call, no show on that. Who knows, though? Maybe they'll reschedule. We'll see.
What a cunt.
But send your hate tweets to what was it? King of Bros or what? I don't know what his Twitter is.
Some shit like that. Yeah, King of Bros.
If he doesn't argue with O'Shea Jackson, I don't know his Twitter, so I couldn't tell you that. But check out Wrestling with Rogers every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern at a concrete time, where they do a Q&A and they answer your questions. All you gotta do is show up and ask a question, and they might answer it. And Rip was telling stories about Ole Anderson this week, and Virgil.
Yeah, R.I.P. By the way, to both of them.
Right. So, and we also lost Butcher Vachon, I think, a couple days ago too.
Right. Yep.
So not Mad Dog, but the Butcher has now passed away. So very sad. Another wrestling. You could call him a legend, perhaps.
He's a legend, but both of them were legends. Obviously, you know what I mean. Moondog Vachon died a few years ago. Obviously, Maurice Vachon. I believe was his actual name. But yeah, the Moondogs were friggin' legends, bro, back in the day. For sure.
So there's that. And then, as always, Stevie Richards, fitness channel, wrestling analysis channel, tech channel, wife channel, podcast. Stevie's He does it all. I've said it all. I'm done. I'm absolutely wiped out. Go ahead, Jimmy.
I'm just saddened by the way you said about all the shows you review, bro. Because when you broke it down like that, I was like, damn, that's hard, dude. NXT, Impact, and Collision. Whoa. No wonder why you're always pissed off. I don't blame you, bro. I mean, shit. That's got to be pretty disheartening sometimes. But you know what? TNA is better than this shit. Let's be honest at this point. So,
no,
and even NXT. It's not. All right,
no,
fair enough.
It's got Moose. It does have Moose, but that's... Other than that, it's just...
It's not moosed enough, clearly. But, yeah. Well, in saying that, though, Vet, if you want to follow me on the X, the Twitter, whatever it is, you can at DJ Mass Effects right there. And also at the PWC Network. Like and subscribe right here at channelattitude.com with $5. Not only do you get the best talk, but also the realest talk in all of pro wrestling. And also at HaminMediaGroup.podbean.com for all our affiliate shows. And at the PWCNetwork.podbean.com for all our other shows. And I think that's it, Vet. I'm almost saddened to call this, the end for the wreckage. But in saying that, I am Jimmy T. That is the Vet Jamie Williams. And you've been listening and watching the Saturday Night Wreckage right here on channelattitude.com via Hamin Media Group. And we're out. And thanks to everybody that's joined us in the chat. Peace out, and we'll see you next week. See yous.